Welcome back one more time, fellow Overwatch 2 enthusiasts. Zoe here, joined by Matt and Jake. And guys, we've got one more match to go in the Stage 3 groups. It's been quite explosive, even in the NA region. So it looks like EMEA are not the only ones who can have fun.
You're right there, Jake. That was a barn burner. I was having a blast in that last series, honestly. That's like the dream Overwatch. We see crazy comps. Yeah. Tons of swaps coming in. That was such a fun match.
And you just had to gobble down some protein bars to...
I did. I gotta hit my macro goals, so
yeah. Gotta get all those macros in, you know, to ride the bike, you keep going.
It's true. It's not just on the wall. Sometimes it's on the street too. The streets are real here in Overwatch as well. Group D bracket is what you're seeing right now. Nightmare already advancing with a smooth ride through the bracket. And now it's all on Timeless and Team Z to determine who is going to join them. So let's dig in. The Timeless roster is the first one we're going to discuss. Of course, it's the former Anomaly roster, which was recently acquired by the Timeless org, which honestly, they're all over the place. They also have like a bajillion teams, so I don't even know what they're doing anymore. But yeah, I mean, the players you should know. Contenders mainstay since at least 2021 across the board. Riker recently joined them as well as their tank sub. I don't know if we're going to see him at all today, or if Kaffa, the lovely fellow Australian for you, Matt, is going to hold it down.
Yep. Yeah, fellow Australian with me. Team Z, we saw them yesterday. You insinuated that Hanbei lied on their player sheet.
Yeah, no, I can. He did not lie. We cleared that up. Yeah, no, Hanbei is cleared. He did not lie. It was the Pro-Am tournament in 2023. It was the group stages. It was the first match. San Francisco shot last 2-1. I did my research. I went back to even watch the match. Hanbei did not lie. Did it matter? Because they didn't make it out of the groups anyway. That was with Trick Room.
No, it matters. It matters.
It mattered to him. That's why he put it in the sheet. So, Hanbei, you guys killed it out there. Loved that for Trick Room. And now you gotta make it into the main event so you can replace that achievement with
The fans do not believe, though. The fans are going heavy for Timeless.
I mean, that's understandable. There's a lot of name value in that team. But, you know, bigger upsets have happened in Overwatch. Let's see if this is going to be one of them. Guys, take it away.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like for the fans, Jake, they probably figure like, hey, you know, if I just kind of throw some points on Timeless, you got a good chance. I mean, they got like 9 rosters. You figure one of them's gonna eventually kind of break on through, right? But this one, very talented. We know Squid and Kaffa, Lucamino. We know a lot of these players. You know, Vision as well. You know, we've seen them kind of like, whether it be, you know, contenders, subs in Overwatch League, you know, playing in the Overwatch League for a while in the past, and. For Team Z, I think this is a huge test. I thought Peace was really good yesterday when we watched them. We'll see how they play off today. A Reaper made Diva set up here coming out early.
Oh, yeah, it's the Reaper. But Timeless...
What is going on with...
They do have the Pharah, so Team Z is going to have to get super aggressive to make this work. I mean, you don't... Time is not your friend playing against Pharah BAP. I mean, the pressure is going to be immense. Doom, though, takes a couple pokes here and finished off. So maybe Peace setting that one up with some icicles, finding a Lucio too, and hold on. The aggression.
Maybe we're wrong. Maybe we're just not educated enough.
I'm not ready for the Reaper. That's the thing. I'm small-minded. I don't see the true power of the Reaper guy. Yeah. I think that was kind of heavily on Peace, though, finding huge connections with the icicles, right? Like, they don't really have a hero who's going to shoot up at the Pharah, so having Mei just hit those connections. And the Doom comes out from Kaffa. Interesting choice. Pretty good hero against Reaper.
And they'll ditch the BAP. They'll actually play you know, with Squid here now on the Kariko. So a few changes overall, and that's going to be a Maywall. Kaffa gets dealt with here as well. So Team Z getting off to a good start.
Yeah, and this comp is, I mean, super difficult to come touch the point when you're getting Maywalled off and Reaper and Diva surrounding you, hitting you from all sides. The Pharah, in theory, should get some decent spam pressure, but, I mean, with how fast these fights been, he just doesn't have really any time to work with.
Yeah, they just don't really care for the Pharah necessarily. Like, you know, Painkiller puts some pressure on.
Diva's trapped by the Maywall. Drop your Maywall.
Yeah, that's your own Maywall trying to kill. Oh, they end up getting DMA'd because of it. That's kind of brutal.
Now it's time for the Reaper to carry, but he uses Wraith form already now. It's kind of open season for Doom to get in there on the Pharah. Reaper gonna have to fall back here. Not too much he can do without the Wraith form. Lucamino, Squid cleaning up their support combo on the opposite side. Reaper just comes in for the last second touch, but Squid, no respect. He's totally unafraid. And one little mistake there, I mean, the Mei keeping the wall up a little bit too long, maybe a miscommunication, cost the mech her life. And I mean, if you lose D.Va mech, you're going to be in big trouble. I mean, D.Va really is your only defense against this Pharah, against this Cassidy, as Kuffa is giving them absolutely no quarter on the Doomfist, forces the Cole very early, and I mean, they're just gone. They just slipped away. Where'd they go?
I mean, they just absolutely just vanish.
That was Houdini. And oh, this is so annoying. You don't have anyone who can get up here. Beautiful barrage, forces a ton of skills, gets the Lucio, does die for his efforts, but I think you're going to be pretty all right with that as Timeless, as they now rush in as well. Layering on the ults, layering on the pressure. And then they do find the D-Mech there, finding these last kills. Wait, hold on, he punched the Reaper in! Oh no!
Oh, wait, what? He gets punched, and I think the last thing they expected was that he was gonna put the Death Blossom there. They deal with Kuffa, and just like that, I mean, they flip the point back. They lose their D.Va, and then they just decide, you know, screw it. Like, they get punched on the end. They use the Death Blossom, and they end up taking it. And now Team Z, you have Blizzard here. You have your own beat. I mean, you're in a pretty decent spot to potentially steal this first round.
Yeah, and he's hiding with the Blizzard. Would love to get that in on the back line. No easy targets, though, for it. Then the High Noon as well from Vision, maybe zoning, maybe touching point. Luke Mino does drop, and Matrix probably going to suppress this High Noon. And the late beat from Team Z, they want to end this here and now, cleaning up Vision. Onto Squid as well, forced away, trying to kite back, but the cleanup is just too good. Team Z, the Death Ball, devastating, grouped up on this Lucio. Yes, the beat comes in from Luke Mino, but it's got to turn into kills. Beat is already expiring. Wait, hold on, Doom found peace. Kuffa, though, dropping in the Coalescence. Should be too much. Moira on the case. Do not want to let this Pharah escape.
Just, yeah, you don't need hit scan. Just get Coalescence and just chase the Pharah around the map. That is a really interesting comp there for Team Z. Definitely gave some trouble over to Timeless. I also say it probably would have been cleaner for Team Z if they didn't, have that Mei wall that kind of took out Painkiller from the mech. So really interesting stuff early on, playing the Mei with the Reaper. I mean, we talked about how good and survivable like Venture Tracer is. I mean, Reaper's up to like what? He's like up to 300 HP now, right? With the lifesteal, and then also Mei. I mean, those are two heroes that are very difficult to deal with as well.
And now they're going to roll out with a Bastion comp. So Team Z came prepared with some wild and wacky cheeses. Timeless need to respond well, right? Like, in theory, I think this Bastion is flawed, but it's going to be on Squid needing to hit some big Bio-nades. Team Z really going to be pretty much defenseless against Bio-nades. And so if Squid can get a big connection onto especially this BAP and Lucio, yes, you've got Drone, but I think the dive would be probably overwhelming. So it's going to be on Dynamite and these nades to get the cleanup on the back line. And okay, Mei split, naded, forced to Ice Block to cleanse that off. Vision in this nice wide angle Bastion, struggling to find purchase, and Timeless are content to just pressure this point, slow the game down. Hey, you've got to push as Team Z. You've got to get out on the objective. Another nade comes in, forces the drone, but not an overcommitment. Wait, oh, maybe it is an overcommitment. I think he just blinked into an icicle intended for somebody else, so Peace is going to feel good about that one.
They do get rid of X-Cal, though. They get rid of that Bastion, right? So that's like a large source of damage. Nice Mei wall here, though, from Pieces. Drop down onto the point. That's going to get Kuffa extremely low. They finish off Kuffa. Just so much damage coming out here from Team Z, and that's going to be a fast flip.
Yeah, it's a great Ravenous Vortex by Painkiller. Denies Kuffa's jump out. Hanbei is traded, though, so hold on. Timeless could be stabilizing right now. Doomed with a second. Such an annoying player. So strong on the flank on this Tracer. I think one of the stronger Tracers outside of the very top teams in the region. And here's why. He's just eating. I mean, oh, look at that. That's nice tracking. Very, very clean. So Doom kind of keeps this one alive, and Painkiller just trying to stall as best he can, but very limited. And Squid has been doing exactly what I talked about. I mean, constantly pitching nades in onto backliners. Even if they don't always result in kills, they're forcing important skills. And maybe more importantly, they're denying Team Z any opportunity to progress the map. Full swap comes in, 4 heroes change for Team Z. It's a good comp, but I think the matchup's pretty even for both sides, and Timeless have a big bank of ultimates to work with.
Yeah, as Peace now goes over to the Echo. That's what we saw the other day. Some really nice play. It'll be a nano here onto Kuffa. It's going to just force Team Z back there. Just going to go back on out of here, right? Give up some of that space. And then they just deal with Kuffa. They just come right on in. Now they end up using the sound barrier. It's pretty good for Team Z, even though the Bob is used here.
Yeah, Kuffa not primaling there. Maybe a ping issue as He's going to see if he can get back into the engagement. Beat from Lucmino has stabilized things as Team Z, all players extremely low. So the beat looks like it was enough to stabilize. Doom doesn't want to let anyone recover, is going to be able to stay alive, clutch up against XCal, and a nice sleep. Delayed kill onto Len. And I mean, that could have been a disastrous scenario, losing your Winston. But
I thought they were going to lose Painkiller.
The beat just stabilizes it all. And Team Z, I mean, that's the downside, right, of making this full comp swap. If they had like one more ultimate to layer in there, I think they very easily could have cleaned up, but just having nothing left, I mean, at least they're close to the rush. But now Kuffa does have the primal to work with, and it's going to be very hard to deal with this Winston. You don't have any easy way to peel him off, especially something like your Echo.
No, in the last fight, I think Team Z, they had a little bit of advantage, but just pushed really deep into the spawn. A nice bio. That's going to get cleans on the Painkiller. It's going to be the Kitsune rush here over the point. Is going to be Team Z trying to take this one back, but nice shots there from Vision, who takes out XCal. So deal with the Tracer. Vision will fall. Nice plays here, though, from Peace, picking up some kills on the Echo. This has been a bit of a scrap.
Yeah, Timeless still trying to fight this out here. Lucmino, that's all the heals down, so Timeless gonna have to work with the HP they've got. Team Z knows it. They're happy to back off and slow down the team fight. Peace is forced to copy just to stay alive, and I mean, that's gonna be the best use of the ultimate. I don't think he's gonna get much of anything in terms of kills with this one. Winston probably just gonna fall back. Oh, wait, jumps in. Very low opportunity to chase here. Kuffa strikes with the nano onto Peace. Yeah, no flight, no escape. XCal trades it back onto Vision, so the fight still in contention for Team Z. Timeless electing just to force this point, bring the defenders to them. Great nade onto Tracer and D.Va. That's really going to turn the tempo around. Squid, massive nade so far. Cleanse as well comes out. Doom with the pulse, does it connect? Yes, it does take the D.Va mech out, and Kuffa still alive, decently healthy. Wait, bursted down,
what?
hold on. The trades come in. Lucmino hacked, can't get his beat off. Squid's going to die late. Surely not a clutch here. Wow.
And Team Z has control of the point throughout all of this, right? So Team Z still going to kind of build up percentage on the point. Peace on the Sombra coming back, making a few big plays with the hacks there. Is that now? Look at how this is turned, Jake. The bad thing is you don't have this mech for Painkiller. Now you're going to get it back, but you're going to have double support ult here for Team Z. You're going to have another Kitsune rush. Hanbei build them rather quickly.
Yeah, Kuffa needs to find something 90 to this primal. I think that's going to be the critical factor here. Squid, he's positioned so safely, so hard to get to. Hack onto the D.Va, going to help that point pressure battle. Lucio playing very safe, gets a slightly better beat off, but still very much in contention as Kuffa juggling that Lucio back to his team. Lucmino, though, does go down first, gets hacked. Sombra tries to fall back, see if Squid can keep her alive. Maybe just barely, but it feels like Team Z has the edge in this fight. XCal finds Doomed, and maybe that'll be enough. Squid desperately trying to get to that nano. Can't quite manage it yet. Pulse Bomb goes wide, but it's enough. Team Z winning the map with a fantastic comp swap and performance. I mean, this was seriously a wild and wacky comp set of Team Z, but they knew when to pull the ripcord and get out of the crazy comp and go back to something stable, and they also could execute it well.
Yeah, they knew what to go to as well. I think the Sombra from Peace definitely paid off towards the end. I have to take a look. I don't know if Lucamino actually, he had that sound barrier towards the end. Would love to see kind of like who that kind of all connected with. But really nice plays from the supports as well for Team Z. Just throwing way different looks here. At Timeless, right? Where Timeless, to me, he kind of have an idea maybe what some other teams are going to do. I mean, Team Z with some interesting stuff. D.Va, May, Reaper to kick things off, right? Then moving over, playing, whether it be Bastion, then it's Ashe, then it's Sombra. You're working the Tracer in. A lot of different looks there from Team Z.
Yeah, and they managed to win some of these really scrappy, clutch team fights. Where I would have thought coming into this, you think about like the name value of these players, I would have thought Timeless players would be really thriving in those 1v1s, thriving as individual fights. But honestly, the fight is very close, very competitive in 50-50. And it seems, I mean, that's the scariest type of team to play against, when a team that will throw crazy cheeses at you, but they have a much deeper strat book than that. Like, they'll hit you with a crazy cheese to get an advantage, and then they'll swap it up and play standard and just snowball that advantage into a map win. That is really one of the most threatening things in Overwatch, when great teams are willing to play crazy styles. One of the hardest things to play against. So Timeless, down 1-0 in the series. We'll see how they bounce back, how they adapt, maybe force a map that stabilizes things for them.
Yeah. Take a look at some of the highlights. I also like how Team Z, we see some teams where even if it's not really working, it's like, oh, well, we've kind of like practiced this, like, this is good or whatever. Like, they just kind of like keep rolling with it. Like, as soon as it feel like Timeless was able to get like a little bit of advantage, figure something out, they made a change. Like, they didn't kind of sit on things for ages, right? I know as soon as they kind of felt like they were at potentially a disadvantage, didn't really matter. This is the punch into the, the Mei wall there. So
that's actually, as Doomfist, you're watching that, you're like, whoops, who moved the Reaper? That's crazy. How do you get there?
Like, who did that?
That's
wild. Really nice bio grenades from Squid, like you mentioned. I think that was really evident here in this second checkpoint, especially forcing that drone out constantly from Hanbei pretty early.
Yeah, and then swapping over to the D.Va Echo. Peace looked great on the Echo yesterday. Kuffa dying with Primal here. That's a painful, painful death. I think that really made the fight, way closer than it should have been. Forced a big ultimate commitment out of Timeless, and honestly maybe cost them the map here, because I think with the Primal coming off early there, maybe you would have beaten that as Len, but it wouldn't have felt very good beating a Primaling Winston booping you around. Instead, they get purchased on the point and force everything else out of Timeless. And they're able to finish the map off with the Sombra swap as well against Lucio Ana, two heroes both very vulnerable to the Sombra, right? Conventionally, we might see a Brig, but the cheeses made Lucamino feel like maybe I need to play Lucio.
Yeah, probably. I mean, it's a later beat there from Team Z just by a little bit, but also it's layering that beat with the Kitsune Rush. That is a big difference. See just like the healing output here, a little bit stronger from Team Z early on. Just a lot of damage there from Timeless. So that kind of tells you where that all extra healing came from. And Team Z, coming up with some interesting stuff. I think also this is like a scary team, because like if you're Timeless, like, okay, like we're gonna pick a map, but you have an idea of what people want to play on certain maps, right? But you don't really know what to expect anymore, right? I mean, this team is kind of like throwing out some really interesting stuff early on in the series. So I think it definitely kind of like leads you to be a little bit cautious of what comes next.
Yeah, they mixed it up, and that does kind of throw you off your footing. There is the opportunity to take us to certain maps where, I mean, on like, let's say Circuit Royale or Dorado, you don't have too much flexibility to get crazy. Like you just need certain heroes. And so I'd like to see Timeless take us to one of those maps that just stabilizes the game and say like, all right, let's just play a heads up mirror and see who's got it better. I think that's what Timeless wants. But for Team Z, I think if they can keep finding a wrench to throw into the works, it is going to be Dorado. Good choice, actually. I like this because I think Kuffa very confident on the Winston. I think the Ana Brig is a style that Timeless are going to be super comfortable on, and very confident on their individuals. The Vision on the hit scan and Doomed on the Tracer. I mean, this is just a full comfort zone pick.
Yeah, I think this is the one map that I think there's like not as many options as some of the others, right? It feels like you're kind of forced into one style of play. Potentially, like Dive. I think you can play D.Va, right? Like we see D.Va Winston. I think you can play the D.Va consistently here if you're Team Z. But I think this allows Kuffa to play that Winston a little bit more confidently, knowing that there's not going to be something ridiculous on the other side.
Yeah, I mean, most teams will just play the Ana Brig Winston here, which I think is good. I do love the Bap Brig D.Va style. I just, on offense in particular, I love Bap's ability to get to the high ground and then run a comp with the D.Va who can really utilize Bap's heals to, make that forward position and keep moving the cart. But it is both teams going Winston is like very normal, very expected here. And this is exactly what Timeless wanted, right? Like a situation where the comps are very normal and everyone is comfortable playing, they've had experience in these matchups before. And so the question now is, Team Z, they've snowballed these advantages from cheesing into map wins, which is impressive, but can you generate that same kind of advantage in a very straightforward front to back mirror?
Yeah, so I think obviously it'll be Team Z on offense. We'll see what they decide to do here. Is Xcal hovering the Widow? Could be for, you can run Widow on this map. Could be in response. Could also be just to take a shot and then change. As Peace will play the Tracer. I like how they're coming out. I mean, both teams, right? We saw like Alara the other day. We've seen Zen on this map. I like the decision to have that Brig on a backline for both sides. That's a nice shot there from Vision to open things up.
Yeah, Vision with a great jump shot punishes the spawn peak. Don't think Xcal ever saw that one coming. Basically, never expect that angle to be threatened by an enemy Widow. And once again, see if Vision can connect again, just going off timing here, but Xcal was patient, waited that one out. Team Z, though, you got to break this open. I mean, Kuffa and Doom, they're doing a great job just cycling their bodies onto the objective, not letting it roll, keeping pressure on the backline.
Yes, some shots here from Vision. They're just trying to challenge this spot here. Ooh, nice body shot into Xcal there as Vision connecting with just about everything thus far. Is Cart still has not really made much of any progress. This is exactly what Timeless wanted, right? Put Kuffa in this position to kind of control this choke.
Oh, Lukemino naded. Little overextension there, trying to challenge the Winston. Gets punished, and now Timeless down one. Fighting back, though. A kill into the Widow is nice, but it might not be enough, right? With both supports still alive for Team Z. Squid's gonna have to be super careful. Vision with a troll. Oh my god. Okay, that's what they need. And another headshot onto the Winston. Forces him back. Okay, the Widow basically just solo held this one down after Lukemino got naded. Vision looking very scary on the Widow. You've got to be a little bit worried as Team Z. When a Widow starts popping off on Dorado, sometimes there's not so much you can do about that.
I mean, it allows your team to kind of like hold on to, you know, just getting those early pickoffs, right? It allows your team to hold on to so many ultimates. I mean, that's also, they end up using the nano there onto Painkiller while you're losing both supports instantly. I mean, that is quite brutal there for Team Z. Is still going to be in control of the show. Painkiller actually goes with the Primal here, so he'll actually take out both supports. They deal with Squid, and now they get Lukemino here. I wonder, because of that close spawn, because of the offensive spawn, if you can like kind of make this into something.
Yeah, but I mean, Kuffa could always just return the favor and go with like a trade Primal of his own. Looks like he's gonna be forced to do that. And juggling the enemy Winston in. Oh no, Painkiller without the Primal has no option to escape. Kuffa, half HP naded, still wants to get into the mix, still catches those supports. Beautiful jump, big landing damage straight onto the back line, and that's going to be a massive cleanup. Team Z overextending themselves. Painkiller, his dive was good, but maybe should have recognized that the response was just way better from Timeless, as now Tracer going to be waiting it in the flank, set up in a position. Uh-oh, Observer's on high graphics. Vision is not.
Yeah, on his screen, that banner probably doesn't exist.
It doesn't exist. I know for sure it doesn't exist. I've never seen that before. Oh my god. Man, Vision is just hot right now on the Widow. This is not what you want to see when the Widow just starts cracking heads. I mean, this is a map where the Widow has so much influence on the map. And Doom, another dive, assisted by Squid.
I mean, this is
this is a beatdown.
This is a slaughtering right now, as Kuffa has not had to leave this roof of the building here pretty much the entire game. Is now you're gonna just ditch the Widow completely, so just gonna give up on it here for Team Z. Is they are absolutely desperate to get the car moving.
Yeah, and you don't want to be in a desperate scenario like this with a rally available for the defense. Nade comes in on the Painkiller, kind of forces him back off the angle. Kuffa does bubble, so maybe lacking maybe all the resources he would want, but oh, what a disgusting kill from Doom. Punishes Excal, caught alone. And I mean, from bad to worse here on Dorado. Support's caught away from the dive. A pulse bomb goes a little wide here. Ambitious maybe. And Peace does find Vision in the chaos. So without the Widow, Nano onto Painkiller, Primal as well, should be enough to start opening this up. Lukemino desperately with this rally, trying to keep Squid alive, and oh, perfect boop there.
Nano on the Kuffa as well.
Man, these supports are doing so well to stay alive. That Primal was completely shut down. Kuffa with his Primal trying to return the favor. And remember, Vision's back on the high ground right now, going to be shooting down to the cart. Everyone's getting cleaved by Brig and Winston into the Widow sightline, into the Tracer, and that's not what you want to be doing against. It's a team wipe for Timeless, full holding, basically where you see the cart. And this was destruction. You rarely see a Dorado defense that clean.
That's not a lot of progress of the payload. This was a bit of a beatdown here in map number 2, which is a bit surprising, with how map number 1 went. It was very back and forth. The Team Z made some really nice changes, got into things that ended up working out for them. This, I feel like, though, Vision just dominated. I mean, there was no answer for his Widowmaker, just like lights out. It felt like every time we were on board with Vision, connecting with at least 2 players, headshots constantly.
Yeah, I think, to be honest, I think back to map 1, there's some first round, honestly, as much as the Reaper Mei Diva is with a Moira is a weird comp, to be fair, Cassidy Farah Doomfist is a pretty garbage comp too, so I think Timeless kind of cheesed themselves on the first round. And then second round, maybe because of stuff like Bastion or the threat of potential cheeses, they played the Lucio in the dive instead of the Brig, which also I think put them on the back foot against the Diva Echo and the super aggression that Team Z countered with. And so now with Lukemino on the Brig, Squid on the Ana in a very stable comp, they look super difficult to catch on the back line. I mean, Squid's aggressive nades have only increased in consistency. Painkiller goes to the D.Va, trying to find something here. But that, if anything, is going to mean that Squid and Lumina are going to be even more free to walk up on the offense and an instant TP to the high ground. I love this move on Dorado. Yeah. Mitigates some of the real difficulty in breaking out of your spawn.
And now Vision can go back to the Widowmaker here as soon as you get everybody here up onto the high ground. So I feel like you really need Excal to start coming alive. Nice nade there on the Painkiller.
Yeah, this map is done, man. This map is actually just done. Like, it's just so... Oh my god.
Highly unlikely.
The comeback is so difficult because now Timeless, they're not even going to kill the baby D.Va. They're going to wait till they push the card to just about the end and then just pounce on this D.Va with the anti-nade from Squid. I mean, I can see the future. Man, I can see the future, and it's not pretty for Team Z on Dorado.
All right. Nah, Painkiller's on an epic flank here.
Painkiller's gonna come on the baby D.Va and mech drop the back. Okay, nade on both backliners. They're dead. They're gone. Vision's just SMGing cart. He doesn't need to do anything else. Happy to put the pressure on. Tracer behind. Can't get any purchase. And yeah, okay.
That was a map.
That was one of the quickest maps. I mean, aside from like a 2-minute cap on push or something, that is about as quick as it gets. Like
that was one of the fastest games of Dorado that I can ever remember. You know, we've had a few. You know, I say that we did cast, you know, a team that went 0-40. I'm sure there's one in there that's, you know, probably faster. We casted some other teams that, you know,
when you're being compared to the Season 1 Shanghai Dragons, it's not, you don't want to be too worried about the details. You're not feeling super good.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not good. But, you know, Team Z, they do end up getting the first map, right? Now you have an opportunity here. Dorado, we thought that wouldn't really be awesome for them, right? That was fully expected, probably not.
It was not awesome for them, Matt.
Yeah, I mean, we thought it was not going to be great for them. It turned out not to be great for them. Let's take a look at some of the highlights. I don't know. I mean, is the highlight just the entire round? Like, what are we going to do here?
I mean, we could kind of fit the whole map into the highlight package. Maybe for the viewer's sake, we want. I mean, this was a huge kill, though, right? Like this Tracer kill, so game saving actually. To get
the upside, though, for Team Z is that, like, hey, now you can pick a map and avoid a lot of these heroes, right?
Yeah, I mean,
would be the upside.
They've shown that they can cook up crazy strats, and the power of the loser map pick in this format is really huge. If you have, I mean, you could have any map in the pool that you're ready for. By the way, what a beautiful jump by Kuffa. That land to catch the auto break, bat them back in one more time, perfect jump pack landing on them. I mean, that just about as good as it gets when it comes to the Winston dive.
Yeah, I mean, Squid continues with the bio grenades throughout this as well, coming up with some you know, huge connections. Take a look at some of the stats. I mean, that's a stat card right there.
That is not awesome, man. That is not awesome.
Yeah, no. A lot of people would say this is not good for Team Z right here. But you can't, like, I just think this is like a play style and like heroes that like they would not want it to play, but you're kind of forced to on Dorado. And I think, you know, obviously you would like a better showing than what just happened, but feels like you can give a better showing here as we move on in the series, being able to kind of like go with some different looks.
Yeah, I'm super curious to see what Team Z is going to pick because, to be honest, I have like no prediction. I have like no idea. It's going to be King's Row, which also tells me nothing because I feel like you could kind of play anything on this map. You could kind of make dive, poke, rush. They all work. It's just up to your preference. So King's Row, huh?
Yeah.
I'm a little worried actually now that I think about this because low-key King's Row is kind of a Widow map. Matt, kind of a Widow map. Like, more than you would think it's a decent Widow map. And Vision was masterful on the Widow on Dorado. I feel like he's going to find a way to pick it again here at some point on King's Row.
I mean, I think it's good on first point, but I think if you can get through the streets, I don't think it's...
Agree. Second, not so good. But if when you retake second point on defense and you come up to the high ground in third point, you just see Cart basically from spawn on Widow. Kind of owns there. So yeah, maybe, of course, I would be shocked if Vision played it through second, but to me, it's a map where just the hard hit scan can really have a lot of impact. And
yeah, I mean, Ashe is like the safest of the picks, right?
Yeah. This is the most normal pick, I think.
This
for
is
defense
what I
start,
see, though.
You don't know what teams he's going to run out with. Are they going to play Sim Bastion? You have to kind of price that in.
Land on the Life Weaver.
Okay, I don't know what is being cooked. Surely not. This is like my average rank game. I'm like, oh, we have Lifeweaver, Reaper, and Reinhardt. Well, this will be great. This is awesome for me.
This would be like if Reinforce was a coach, he'd just be like frantically shouting heroes before the doors are about to open, and they'd just be like shuffling through all of them. don't think we're gonna get Hanzo here. Peace played a really good Echo the other day. I would, yeah, I'd like to see the Echo. Yeah,
it fits really well in this style. I will say, Luke Mino has the opportunity to really distinguish himself. You know, Brig can really shut down D.Va in this comp with some well-placed boops. A Painkiller taking the long angle, gonna sneak up, start touching this point, and now Timeless gotta respond to that. Kuffa really doesn't want to give up this off-angle flank, right? Like, really wants to threaten the possibility of a backline dive, but is gonna fall back before he loses his armor.
Yeah, Bio Grenade on a Painkiller on the point, but there's going to be nothing to follow up on it. It looks like players from Timeless actually get, like, knocked down to the low ground here, or maybe they decide to jump. So you now have Squid, Lucamino, and Vision not controlling that high ground, but Doom finds a pick there, takes out Hanbei. That's a lot of the healing. Another Bio Grenade connects here from Squid. So that'll be a first fight that goes in Timeless's favor.
To be honest, Matt, I mean, D.Va was pretty strong last patch, right? It took a small nerf. But for teams at the top level, they started to feel that this Winston on a Brig actually does beat the D.Va comp. And now D.Va's even in a weaker state than before. So if Timeless can just execute well, I think this comp matchup is a bit favorable to them. However, we have seen teams, you know, win it both ways. So I don't think this is unplayable, but I like what Timeless is playing. And I think that once again, they're just back in their comfort zone. Right now, Busan looks like an anomaly.
Yeah, I mean, we've been big fans of the Brig on a backline. This is going to be a Nano here on the Vision. I wonder if that was actually meant for Kuffa. They were kind of like both kind of like over in that doorway here. Is Peace going right above, extremely low. Is looks like maybe just trying to bait out the Echo as another fight goes in Timeless's favor. I just think it gives you so much flexibility, like the Brig with the Ana, and then kind of having the Winston in the mix. I think there's like some maps you definitely need the Lucio, right? But I think like in a map like this, or even, you know, escort maps, right, on the defensive side of things, I think this comp's pretty awesome.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of it, and I think it also frees up Squid to get aggressive with his cooldowns, right? And he's been so solid with that, right? Connecting so many. Pulse Bomb on a Painkiller while he's flying, and the nade follow-up. There's no cleanse for this. Painkiller, Peace, both super low. Kuffa does go down in the Carnage, but Luke, you know, a beautiful block onto the Pulse Bomb. And that was really, that's one of your most potent tools for shutting down this Ana Brig, is a Pulse Bomb. And it doesn't connect.
Dominating.
Yeah, Squid
is on another level right now.
When you create space for this guy, as Timeless is clearly aware of and prioritizing, he is just delivering so many connections on the nade. Doomed is also in a theoretically a tough spot on Tracer. It's like hard to find the pulse bombs, but he's been doing it.
Oh, they're gonna fight in the rush up here. That's actually the Bio Grenade there. That
nice
comes in from Peace. Peace actually connects to the Bio Grenade. He gets a copy onto the Ana. Connects to the Bio Grenade up on the high ground. Timeless definitely wasn't prepared for that.
Yeah, that's a great dive to the nade. I mean, you have no answer for that on Timeless. And so the copy just dominantly wins them the fight. Kuffa doesn't even want a Primal, right? I think this is a wise decision, though. You know, I don't think we would have been able to win this fight with Primal. Would have fed a ton of ult. So take the reset. You have back spawns, though. So Team Z going to get a lot of purchase here on second point. Squid, it's a little bit deep for going for that sleep. Okay, he does get saved by the team as they fall back to the spawners. And it is going to be a second point card push.
I do get why Timeless felt comfortable fighting in that Kitsune rush, right? They kind of had the benefits of the rally. It's a small area. You have the cleave from the Winston and the Brig. You probably have a Bio Grenade of your own. I just don't think they accounted for a duplicate with a Bio Grenade that comes in from Team Z, which it was really well played there from Peace.
Yeah, in the end, it's a huge ultimate commitment, and Timeless happy to slow the game down. Kuffa drops super low here. Doesn't want to primal defensively, though. Really looking for the opportunity to get aggressive. And Kuffa finishes off what must have been a headshot by Vision to shut down Peace. Kiri forced out. D.Va really does not want to lose the mech. Oh, and she forces self-destruct. Yeah, I think he has to there. Would have been stalled out on the baby D.Va had he not. So you just got to keep the tempo rolling by popping the self-destruct. Timeless, though, with a big bank of ultimates, Team Z, they need to be able to win fights without both support ultimates and copy. I mean, if that's the only fight you win, it's just not good enough here on Kings Row.
Yeah, I mean, you just don't have enough time to be a clock, right? To end up winning the game. I mean, that would not work out in your favor. I also think you're starting to see some of the strengths of the Winston instead of the D.Va, right? I think the D.Va good in the individual one-on-one duels, but once we get into these team fights, it's really all about the Winston. It'll be coupled with the Primal Rage. Knocking Hanbei off course, you're going to get another DMAC here.
They're not even going to kill Baby D.Va. The most toxic play is do not even kill the Baby D.Va and let her go back to spawn.
Nade.
Yeah, but yeah, they just finish her off. And I mean, like, you have this Kitsune rush. but it just feels so threatening with Kuffa holding the forward choke. If you pop the rush on him, he's just going to jump back. The team's going to full kite you. I think that's a foregone conclusion. But how do you break this choke without popping a Kitsune rush, right? Like, this backline is so ready to fall back. You got to dislodge Kuffa somehow, but he just dies for his trouble.
You're going to lose Painkiller. I thought you were going to lose the mech yet again. I mean, you don't even have the time to get to the choke and actually set up the Kitsune rush. It seems like you're just going to be being bullied out of the choke. I also think that if they drop the rush, you're just going to see Vision just chuck the bob on right through it, right? There's no, like, sleep or anything, right? You're going to have to, what, use the Matrix on that bob? Then you're just going to get bio-grenaded from the opposite direction. So now they're going to go from the high ground directly here into the back line. This is going to be the Kitsune rush used. No bob in response. They'll actually go with the rally.
Yeah, the rally is going to be great here to stabilize. That kill on a Doomed is super valuable, though, right? It means no one's there to stall the cart. And I think Timeless probably going to just slow play this, wait for their Tracer to get back into the engagement, hold the end of second point. So it's a great pick by Xcal. Get the team, into contention here on second. But this Nano could come into Kuffa, and he's pretty close to the Primal. That should be enough to make the connection. They go for the Winston copy this time, trying to somehow connect to the dive to the back line, but the Nano onto Brig, and I mean, this is a serious threat. Her burst is really incredible when she's got her Nano on. She immediately shuts down that Winston copy and now charges forward. They would love to get a cleanup here from Timeless. If you could shut down this Tracer, maybe. I don't know if you would get a touch.
High ground. Yeah,
if Xcal dies here, it's going to be game. He really has to win this 1v1. It's kind of for all the marbles. Slips away, but Luke Mino is waiting for him. Did get the overtime touch, but I mean, it's too little, too late here. No shot. You win the fight here. 6-man bomb? No.
Six self-shot? Yeah!
Oh, kills!
I feel like our two highlights of the day should just be Anywho's pulse bomb in an absolute drubbing of a loss, and then not self-destruct. Those are our highlights of the day.
And honestly, King's Row, I was hoping for some kind of wild and wacky cheese, because to be honest, I'm not a believer in this Lucio Curie into the Winston Brigana. Yeah. I think the Lucio Curie Diva, even last patch, I think the Winston had the edge at the highest level. And this patch, it should just only be worse for Diva. Losing a little bit of that Matrix time only makes Squid's job easier finding those nades, right? A little bit less to work with for Painkiller.
Yeah, and like a lot of the Matrix just kind of like used to, get like near that high ground and whatnot. And then there's no Matrix left for those like bio grenades. Like in the past, right? Like Diva was an awesome counter to the Ana, because like the defense Matrix just kind of yoinked up all of the grenades that would come in from the Ana. Sorry here, you have nothing to apologize about. You've played phenomenally this far. Okay, take it back. Where'd it go?
We'll see if it's enough here for Team Z, if they can stabilize, maybe on defense.
What Winston skin is that, Jake?
Wait, let me see. Let me take a look at this. Is this the BlizzCon one, or what is that?
Oh, that's not the BlizzCon one.
What is this thing? I need this. It's like some. It's like some. Oh, is it like Pacific or Atlantic or something like that?
It looks like some kind of like.
It kind of goes crazy. Kuffa's got a good Winston skin.
Ocean Winston, yeah.
It's kind of a vibe. And they're going to go with the Echo on offense. So maybe not wanting to have that vulnerability of the hit scan. Harder to get an angle on offense. I don't mind this. We'll see how Vision looks on the Tracer. An instant kill from Squid. No, it's Squid again. Always in the feed. Always dropping nades.
I also think you feel pretty comfortable running the Echo because you have a good idea there's not going to be a hit scan on the other side, right?
Oh, and Doom with a full stick on a piece? How does he get that kill?
Through the window.
Oh, no. This one is looking really rough here for Team Z. They're getting rolled over. No hope of a retouch. And even these players forward, I wonder, can they sustain this position with Doom getting in and dropping consistent damage like this? Okay, maybe Vision overstepped his bounds. The punish comes through. Very aggressive from Team Z. As soon as they spot an opening, they are going to charge forward and get what should be a full easy team wipe here. Maybe Luke and Kuffa can escape. Luke taking the long road. That doesn't lead home, buddy. Only Kuffa lives. Maybe you can throw some sort of spawn camp here, but I don't think you really have the comp to win a spawn camp fight against Brig. And Xcal trying to do too much. I understand it in the situation you're in, but it gets punished, and now Timeless should be able to roll the cart potentially through this choke that was so difficult for Team Z. Maybe it's just going to be uncontested for Timeless.
Yeah, and I think having the Echo in the mix puts even more pressure onto the Diva, right? You can't no Matrix for that focusing beam. You also then have the nades that have come through from Squid constantly. And I think where the payload is, Jake, I mean, for Timeless, you can just play around like one big kind of like, you know, batch of ultimates. It'll be a Kitsune Rush here for Hanbei. Yeah, they just kind of walk back, and they're going to build up a Primal out of this. They're going to build up a Nano out of this, and then a Dupe. So they're in a fantastic spot now.
Yeah, and Vision going to strike from completely behind. Looks like he might be undetected here on the flank. Primal juggling to Lucio. Oh, whoa, Vision, hold on. Maybe Doom is the Tracer player of the team. We'll see if Doom can clutch it out. Even with the Nanos, not quite enough here. They do lose players, but the attacker spawn advantage should be enough to clean us out. Maybe Squid can snipe down that Lucio. Yeah, Len doing a great job with the wall ride to slip out there, though.
Yeah, Kuffa sent Len into orbit, and I think, you know, Vision just looked up and just got just annihilated by Hanbei.
Just got actually destroyed by Hanbei. A little bit of a misplay. But Doom has looked great on the Echo, and now with the rally, right? Fighting into the car against the rally is a really challenging proposition. Nade onto the D.Va, already forces the cleanse out. Pulse easily blocked by the break shield. Not much hope there. Does eat the pulse by Vision.
Huge.
Yeah, beat does help, but the copy D.Va and the rally are going to really be great for the sustained fight here. Beat needs to find more. Once again, I mean, it's just Squid. It feels like every single time that ability's off cooldown, he's dropping kills. Big bomb over the point from the copy. Slept D.Va by Squid. Gets the follow-up onto the D-Mech. Kuffa is down, though, so maybe potentially could be hard to clean up. Len just over half and wins the duel against the Echo. But still, the kills are coming in. And, I mean, Squid is still alive. Like, you know the fight's over if Squid is still alive. And, I mean, okay. We're 2-1 in the series, and I'm just wondering what happened on map 1. Like, this is an extremely dominant last 2 maps.
Yeah, I know, no clue. I mean, yeah, the map number 1 seems like an anomaly at this point, right? Where Team Z, they come out, they run some interesting stuff, and they end up taking it. And these next 2 maps have just been speed runs here for Timeless. Maybe Timeless came in kind of like was overlooking Team Z in a way, and then kind of got woken up after that first map because they've been on fire ever since. As Squid has looked great on the Ana, just constantly landing those bio grenades. And Jake, I have to inform you, I've been told that I was actually correct. It is what did Winston skin did I say that was? I said it was like some ocean thing. Yeah,
it is called
Ocean King.
Ocean King. I mean, that's a vibe. That's a vibe. I mean,
it's pretty lit.
This nade from Peace with the copy was huge, but it just felt, I mean, Timeless on these last 2 maps, they've been just so stable. And it's like, how many nades has Squid had to use defensively? Like maybe 10% of them, 20% of them. Feels like almost every nade is going in and connecting on someone, aggressively creating an opening that leads to a victorious team fight. I mean, this Ana is just kind of running rampant. And I mean, this is, you got a Curie on the field, you got a D.Va on the field, you have like a lot of threats you've got to respond to as an Ana. And yet he's still finding this, okay, Baz, this disgusting sticky with a little right click to help out from Kuffa.
It feels like teams who don't want to play like this Winston Ana Brig setup are just like at pretty large disadvantage at times. Like trying to play like the Lucio, the Kiri, the D.Va into it, it seems so punishing. I know another great map there from Timeless, but it feels like you have to play that setup with the D.Va like so perfectly, where the Winston with the Brig and the Ana, there's so many win conditions, right? I know whether you play like Tracer Echo, you play a Tracer with an Ashe, right? Like there's so many different, whether it be nano targets, the rally's incredibly good, right, for close fights, and even as a defensive, if they kind of counter dive, it just feels like there's so many different options with that comp. Where the D.Va composition, it feels like there's only like one way to kind of win, in a way.
Yeah, you're so reliant on staying grouped up that in a dive comp that naturally splits up, right? Naturally, they're gonna, leave their Winston and Tracer on one side. They're gonna be nading you from another. And if you don't have the ability to split up as easily, which, Brig is super adept at, continuing to give heals to those split players, it's gonna be hard. I think teams get baited because, to be honest, below the very top level, like let's say we take this main event level of like the top 8 teams that qualify. To be honest, like if you go far below that top 8 into like even the top 16 level, I think the D.Va Lucio Curie is probably better.
Yeah,
it's probably just better because just grouping up deathballing is so much easier to execute. But at the very, very elite level, I mean, I think Squid is really putting on a masterclass, and Luke, keeping him alive very well to do so. Like when you get to this elite level of like Winston on a Brig, they just do way too much on the server. Like, the Kiri is not enough. The D.Va against a really good player, like a really good Ana, is just going to be too aware of that D.Va matrix. And as soon as you drop it down, you have that moment of vulnerability for the nade to come in. And if you miss that window, okay, the Ana Brig's not so good. But these top tier Anas like Squid, I mean, they don't miss the window very often.
It feels like, though, that's been like Overwatch's history in that, like, when you could play Winston, like, I remember, like, this is like way back, right? But like even like NA and EU, right? Like, Winston wouldn't be meta, and then you'd like watch like Korean Overwatch, or you'd watch like, I know, even like the high end of like Chinese Overwatch, and like they're all playing these Winston based compositions, and you're like, well, if you just execute the Winston better, like, it's gonna just win out over just about everything. It feels like kind of that's where we're at with this, as it will be Suravasa the map pick here for Team Z. Potentially, maybe they need the Reaper back. Maybe that's what they've been.
Maybe the Reaper. That's the counter to the Winston. Although I do think this is a map type actually where the Ana Brig is not nearly as dominant. And even Timeless agrees. They're also going to match the Lucio carry. I mean, having a high pace, high tempo, super valuable here. Sombra Tracer, definitely an odd choice for Vision, but maybe it could work out. I mean, I'm curious to see how this matchup plays out. I would think Team Z is going to be really durable against the Sombra Tracer dive. So I think Timeless maybe has had the wrong read here, but then again, if you just execute perfectly with Sombra Tracer here, it's possible. I do think Reaper kind of is going to have a field day, not really much to deal with him.
Be wild if they took us to a game 5 off the back of 2 map wins off of the Reaper May.
Please, I don't want to have Reaper in my ranked games, Matt. Please.
Look at the Reaper. He's controlling this area all by himself.
Well, he had a Wraith already, though, and now it's going to be scary to walk in. He's going to do it anyway, though. I think this is what you got to do on Reaper. You got to stay aggressive. They turn on to Doom. There's not too much damage on the side of Timeless, but they do get the point flip. Team Z now trying to restore their cooldowns, trying to reset, but Kuffa doesn't want to let them do that. He's playing on his armor so well on this Winston, managing the HP bar with the great heals coming in from Timeless. And so far, Timeless, their high level of mobility, Reaper is just not finding purchase.
I mean, it's also kind of a little bit odd because, like, Team Z, if you looked at their health bars, they were never really, like, in a dangerous scenario during that. Like, they were pretty healthy the entire time. I mean, these characters that they're playing are so sturdy. It'll be Excal gets a pick here early on. Hanbei does have the Coalescence. You're going to use that to try and keep Painkiller and Co alive, as it'll be Team Z who flips the point.
Yeah, and a small slip up from Doom to die, get caught out there, and without the Tracer pressuring your backline, you see how quickly things fall apart for the Timeless comp, right? You don't really have any frontline pressure to speak of. So when the Tracer distraction falls away, it's like, okay, full court press, everybody run onto the point, and Kuffa has no hope of taking that fight alone. This time it's Doom, or Vision rather, who gets shut down. I mean, these little picks, they do start to add up. You got to be careful now, Timeless. They don't want to turn this into a team wipe. They are going to just full commit with the beat, trying to take this fight. Very risky with only 4 players, but they do punish Excal. Catching Peace out alone, should be isolated. Pulse Bomb just a second early from Doom, so Peace is going to live.
Oh, he gets out! They sound there to keep Peace alive.
D.Va just didn't quite get the beat, and then the EMP came in. So Timeless, looks like they are going to clutch this one out, but I think it's more expensive than they would have wanted here, honestly. I mean,
yeah,
in a position where you just need to retake maybe once, you can probably close out this first point. 83 is a little scary, though. It's right on that edge.
Beat Primal EMP. I mean, that's a lot there to use as I take a look at replay here from Peace.
Oh, Majax. Oh. Love a little Majax. Oh, nothing quite hits the same as a real Ajax, but, Majax kind of tied us over for the moment. We'll see Timeless, elusive, very hard to catch. Reaper goes up onto the high ground, gets great support, though, on the Winston, and now falling back. The pressure's being layered on. Excal caught without that Wraith form. An easy kill. Peace as well. It's going to be coming out of that ice spike. No more defensive utility. Gets isolated. Finished off by the flankers as well as the Lucio. And Timeless working together masterfully here. Really punishing the Reaper pick on this second round. I mean, Excal doesn't even have his first ultimate.
Yes, Reaper not really, he got like 1 kill, I think, early on, but not really able to kind of do much of anything there. Where I think you really need kind of like control of the point and just fighting around that like kind of central group to really make the Reaper worthwhile. Over on with Excal kind of like searching, Doomed on the flank, Vision as well, just kind of like searching for a target. It feels like Reaper's the best when you can just kind of use him as a battering ram, just kind of like speed boost on in with the Reaper, just get him in a target's face and make an impact, as the point will open up here in a few seconds. You'll have Coalescence plus Death Blossom to potentially use here.
and Timeless are super happy to just poke from all angles. Coalescence puts a lot of pressure on, but Luke Mino's beat is going to stabilize everything for Timeless. Kuffa, very late primal, very low HP, but pushes it to the limit and survives. Xcal gets bursted down. EMP, of course, denying him any of those escape skills. And although it's expensive in terms of ultimates for Timeless, I think they're very happy considering Team Z also committed heavily to this fight.
And I feel like, though, Timeless is totally fine taking fights where they're both with no ultimates available. So let's take a look at a replay here. This is actually, yeah, so it is the kill, the EMP here that comes
cancels
on down.
The Death Blossom.
The virus as well, yeah.
And you got to remember, Sombra got a pretty, I mean, she has a little bit less HP, a little bit easier to kill, but she does quite a bit more damage and has more mobility now in this patch. Squid super low. Wow, I mean, look at that. That's like balls of steel to hold on to that self-cleanse. Now uses it, keeping himself up. The Blizzard did catch Luke Mino, and Beat comes in over the top. You'd think that'd be enough, but fighting on the rush, Squid somehow catches Hanbei out. That's a miracle kill in this spot. Still staying alive on this Kiriko, a masterclass by Squid. And the high mobility flankers from Timeless are trying to clutch this out. You would think this Reaper and May are surely going to win the fight and cap on point. But Timeless keeping a bit of map control, keeping players alive. That's keeping Team Z very busy. If they don't find these cleanups, I think Timeless going to be able to get a very quick reset and a re-engage into nothing. I mean, Team Z has no ultimates to work with.
Well, when you watch Team Z, like, it just looks so frenetic. Like, they're searching for players everywhere. The dives from Timeless really giving them some trouble, as looks like it was going to be Xcal just teleporting up to the high ground. That's going to be the TV and the Wraith form down right away. He's going to get some help here from Len and Hanbei. A lot of support coming in. Try and keep the Reaper alive, as this will be Coalescence available. Maybe you kind of go with the Coalescence charge on in. Luke Mino, though, does have the sound barrier potentially in response. Holding on to it, though. Doesn't feel the pressure to use it just yet.
Yeah, the patience is huge here. Now the barrier comes in as Coalescence ends. No resources for Team Z. Players dropping low, but Luke Mino does get bursted through by the Reaper. Timeless, though, going to continue to pour on the pressure. Primal comes out from Kuffa, going to protect him from any kind of damage threat that Reaper was bringing to bear. Xcal going to be a late death for him as Timeless flip the point, and they're still sitting on the EMP. Team Z forced to retake into one of the most devastating ultimates in all of Overwatch. They've been so good at this bend but not break playstyle, relying on mobility, having different flankers come in to contest the objective when one is forced to retreat. And I think this is going to be no different. I mean, I think they can touch, but you got to do more than touch, right? You got to find a way to actually win the engagement. Squid could pop the Kitsune Rush, and I mean, Vision's so ready. One overextension, it's going to be an easy EMP. Rush comes out, and with D.Va Mech, I wonder, maybe he doesn't even need the EMP.
I don't think you use it.
Yeah, you don't need it. This is just a beatdown. It's not even a close team fight. Running into the rush is almost as bad as running into the EMP. And so Timeless are really wise to hold on to the second tool and have a great way to get themselves an advantage on what could be the very final point of this series.
You're running into the rush with basically no D.Va, right? The D.Va was like hacked really early on in that. So yeah, you have no way to kind of counter anything that's coming at you. So you're in a really terrible spot there. For Team Z is, you know, their lives are on the line here. They were great in map number 1, but it's been all Timeless ever since then. It's going to be an EMP to kick things off.
Lucio, no beat to come in here, and it's, I mean, that's just a destructive team wipe from Timeless. The only silver lining for Team Z is that they don't commit anything to that fight, and I mean, the point isn't even quite open yet. So it's like not the end of the world for Team Z. They have a chance to come back here, but I mean, Timeless have been so good. They're not really relying on any ultimates. Wait, Kuffa, missed jump, gets caught out, punished potentially, but no, he's got the primal to turn, barely charges in time. Great care from the supports, gets him there. Team Z popping ults off the point. The pull's perfectly timed as the beat is expiring. That's a masterful timing from Doom, just what they needed. Luke Mino trying to finish up charging that beat, but with no Winston, they are going to have to give the flip over. And Team Z, in the end, get control with a decent bank of ultimates, feeling okay to maybe bring this point back.
They should end up taking the lead, right, before this next fight kind of kicks off.
Doom spawn camping.
And Peace in a really difficult spot here.
And yeah, he's gonna be dead.
Is gonna help as well.
The wall's perfect, but okay, yeah. I mean, the mobility from Timeless, like their whole team can show up to that fight. They do end up leaving Vision on an island. He gets caught and punished, but Reaper, no Wraith form, has to use Death Blossom and Coalescence. Oh, D.Va moves off the map. Okay, that was a wild boop. You would think that would be enough for Timeless to back out and take the reset. Luke Mino trying to stay alive. Maybe just gonna hop off the map. Yeah, takes that fast reset. Okay, that boop, that was a little bit lucky, but you take those. You take those.
Hey, that was sick. They're from Painkiller. Just knocks Kuffa off base when they kind of go up into the sky. And, you know, Kuffa had released benefits of the sound barrier there as well, so you definitely could have kept that one going.
Yeah.
This one feels like you're going to get a fight here from Timeless, but feels like it's going to go to Team Z.
Maybe. I mean, Vision's close to that EMP. It's a super aggressive move from Team Z, and another move off the map. No, Kuffa, you were the chosen one. The flip comes in. Rush as well. Timeless down to Winston. They're going to try to clutch still. Len finds another kill onto Doomed this time. And that, you would think that would be the end of the round. Timeless gonna fall back and use the rush through good money after bad on that point. And so now Team Z have bought themselves a chance here on Flashpoint, but it's only a sliver of a hope here. I mean, you have no ultimates to work with on this first team fight. You are up against the EMP, which, I mean, so far has been devastating. There's the possibility to make some big play on May, but it doesn't come in. No. EMP connects to 5. It's the dream scenario. Dive is an absolute cleanup. The only positive is that the point's not open yet. That's good. Painkiller gonna be able to make it to point, but they can't even stall him until the point opens. That's what they should do.
Like, you know, that individual hack maybe not as strong as it was, like, you know, Overwatch 1, early Overwatch 2, right? Like ages ago. But EMP is still just, it is brutal to get hit by that. It feels like you just have no opportunity of counterplay. It feels like that you just kind of get EMP'd, your run is over, as Team Z now will answer back with a Sombra of their own. So only difference is between these tanks, right? You have that Winston in play here still for Timeless, as you lose your Tracer. This is quite brutal. It's going to allow Timeless to get an even bigger lead on this point.
The Tracer from Doomed has been so good this year. He's fighting so many of these opening kills, winning out flank fights, fighting spawn camps. I mean, that's exactly what you're hoping for out of your Tracer. So hard to deliver that consistently at this level, but Doomed is really acquitting himself well in this series. I mean, look at Kuffa. He's cleaving them up, forcing so many skills. Now his Primal does come out, maybe a little bit early. The beat tries to come in, and it's so defensive, so passive from Team Z. If Kuffa can just escape with his life, a better beat from Luke, you know, drastically better. But Timeless are fighting in the attacker spawn, essentially. I mean, this is a little bit too much for me, but Doom, once again, in the chaos, finds XCal not getting the resources he needs to sustain. Diva Bomb comes in, would love to get back into the ring. Whoa, Squid a little too greedy. Tries to peek for the kill and gets punished, but no players left alive. Seems like Timeless have done enough here. The Lucio on point, gonna get swarmed, surrounded, harassed down. And I mean, Timeless, after a little hiccup, we can say, on map 1, or on the wait, as I say they're cleaning up, hold on, the fight's actually not going against them. Len is juking and jiving around, surviving incredibly well. Painkiller back on the Doomfist. That is a miracle clutch. I mean, Len's wall riding was just, how did he live? Like,
yeah, Len kind of cooked. Has to back up though. I mean, cannot afford to die. You have Painkiller back on the Doom here. The bad part here for Team Z is there's going to be an EMP on the other side of things. Peace might be able to build towards an EMP, but with
we need to see an EMP cancel from Peace, but it's too early, it's too quick, the tempo too fast from Timeless. That's been the story all map long as they just run over the opposition. 3 kills, and XCal, the last alive, ticks down to the virus. And there it goes. Timeless, what felt like a 3-0. Map 1 an anomaly for sure at this point.
Yeah, and I like the decision there from Vision. Use the EMP a little bit early on. Don't get super greedy going for a massive one, right? Use the EMP, connect with 2-3 players, take them out. You know at that point you're going to have a massive advantage. EMP desperation comes in for Peace here towards the end. It'll be XCal, gets a touch, trying to dance around here, but after map 1, it is all Timeless, and they'll take the series 3-1 here against Team Z.
And that Sombra felt strong, felt good. I mean, I'm honestly curious to see more teams try the Sombra after what we just saw from Timeless, because that mobility, it feels like Sombra was really always ready to drop the EMP. I mean, so early. The tempo was even faster than I was expecting as a spectator. And so from the other team's perspective, I mean, that's incredibly oppressive to play against when you're getting overwhelmed by that level of tempo. Impressive job from Vision.
I wouldn't be surprised if we see teams do that next weekend, play some of that Sombra. That looked really powerful.
Yeah, I think a lot of the teams these past 2 weeks have shown a few pages in their books, which some might be out there to copy. Reaper May, probably not one of them, but I still command the entertainment it brought. Team Z, I mean, they took map 1 on the base of that, played some wonky stuff, but they were also able to, you know, switch it back to more standardized stuff, so they fought well. And quite frankly, yesterday they popped off as well on their Echo. We didn't get to see peace on that Echo very much today. Not really much room for that. Overall, though, they certainly, at least at the very beginning of the match, made them work for it. I thought it was a very, very entertaining series. I did like to just see the full display of why D.Va might not be the greatest of all time anymore. So that was nice.
Yeah, but Vision's Widow is crazy. Like
it was cracked. Like that was just. I mean, on Dorado, that was just. Was this the quickest Dorado we've ever seen?
It's got to be. It's about as fast as you could get it done, with especially how one side of the offense was. I want to talk about Squid though. I mean, for me, Squid. I hope he gets POTM in this series because I felt like his nades were like the reason. If you're not playing Ana and you're not nading like this guy, it's like how can you win? I mean, he was tearing them up on the Ana.
Yeah.
And he did that even though there should be a lot of pressure on him. If
this is like
what the opposition is running.
Lucio, Kiri, D.Va are like very scary heroes to try to nade, right? They're heroes that put a lot of pressure on you. I mean, oh my god, look at this from Squid.
So he's like, they should be putting a lot of pressure on as we go to a highlight where he's standing still in a window, just killing people.
He went completely uncontested, which honestly,
there's nobody within 100 yards.
I think they were trying, right? They were trying to stop him, but he was just too good at finding those little windows. It's so hard at this level of play. Like, although a lot of people would think, oh, you're D.Va, you can just eat those those cooldowns coming in. But at the top level of play, I think Ana starts to swing the matchup back in her favor, because every time D.Va matrixes, when she drops the matrix, there's that half-second window where you can't put it up again. And that's enough for these Anas at this level to find the perfect nade. They're always ready. And man, the tempo from Sombra, you gotta think, new Sombra getting a movement speed buff and stealth is actually pretty huge for this level of tempo play, because I mean, you are back to these fights so insanely quickly. It is going to be Vision who gets the player of the match. I mean, in fairness, he went next level on Dorado, and he brought the heat on Sombra on that Flashpoint map.
Yeah, I mean, Vision was phenomenal, right, on the hit scan, especially here on Dorado. With the Widowmaker, I mean, this is like Team Z had momentum, and then Vision just like shut the door completely. Like as soon as we started Dorado, it was like, yeah, no, this is going to be a different series of what we saw. Like that's not going to continue what we saw in map number 1. And then playing some of the Tracer looked great as well, taking that matchup against Xscout.
Yeah, getting the cleanups here, and I mean, this is what you need, right, from the modern hit scan players. They need to have the Sombras, the Tracers, the flexibility in their back pocket to keep up with this rapidly evolving meta, especially against teams like Team Z. They're going to kind of throw everything in the kitchen sink at you, try to mess you up, try to hit you with something that you weren't ready to face. And Vision responded admirably. Great swaps throughout the series. And yeah, map 1 feels like a lifetime ago.
It really does. We actually have an interview ready now as well, so let's bring Kaffa in for a quick chat about the series and about the experience here generally in the OWCS. Kaffa, thank you so much for joining us. Congrats on the dub. You made it look easy today. What was your prep looking like going up against this team?
I mean, we've been working pretty hard lately, the last few weeks. I think we're pretty confident. This wasn't really a team we were scared of in any regard. I think map 1 was just me playing quite poorly and a few comp decisions that ran in the wrong direction.
Yeah, I gotta ask. I mean, the Sombra, obviously, we have like a new, patch and whatnot. You guys had found great success on that. Is that a hero you think kind of we'll see even more as we progress to the main event?
I don't want to be talking too much about anything, but maybe
all right.
We'll see.
Okay, and I'm just curious, outside of the Winston, where do you see, I know that's a hero that we know you're comfortable on, we know you're confident on, but where do you see the meta going with, I think D.Va, it's fair to say, being the hero of the last patch? Is this time for Winston to be, that hero that kind of leads the meta and other heroes are kind of following along behind?
Yeah, I think the Winston comps are really strong right now. I mean, you just saw in the match, like, even that D.Va comp, like, you can just dismantle it really easily with that Anabri comp. It's pretty easy to just punish their mistakes and constantly counter dive.
Well, as I said, you made it look easy for sure. Now, looking ahead to the main event, we now officially know which teams qualified. Is there a particular team you're most excited to play, or one team that you would rather avoid, perhaps?
I think everyone wants to avoid Toronto. That's like a given. But I'm keen to versus NRG Shark. I think that'll be a good match. I think we will verse them, maybe later in the bracket. That's what I want to beat.
Right on. Well, it's a double elimination bracket, so we hope to see a lot of action there. Kafa, thank you so much for joining me. Thank you so much once again for all the action you displayed on the server. It's been so much fun to watch you guys go at it, and yeah, we can't wait to see you in the main event.
Thank you very much. See ya.